Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy Joe hitting you with a story from one of my most favoritist ministry in the entire world. And I do mean the entire world. The legacy exists to make disciples of Christ who make disciples of Christ. After 10 years of being in Chicago, the legacy is now expanding to Los Angeles, Houston, Atlanta, and New York by 2020. This will allow young Christians to be equipped without having to pay to travel all the way to the Midwest. Would you prayerfully consider partnering with the legacy to make disciples in neighborhoods and the nations? Your partnership would change the lives of people who change the lives of others. And this story sort of epitomizes what the mission of the legacy is about. Meet Jarvis Buchanan, who's a regular at the Legacy Conference, and he mentors students on the west side of Chicago. When Jarvis himself was in high school, he began to be mentored by a Christian who also volunteered to coach his high school track and field team. Just earlier that year, Mitch attended the Legacy Conference and was moved so much by it that he moved to Chicago to make disciples specifically in the inner city. And he used that teaching to invest in the life of Jarvis on and off the field.
He would just teach me so many things that I would just be like, bro, you're young. Why are you doing all of these things? Like, this ain't necessary, you don't have to do this.
When Mitch arrived in Chicago, he moved into a discipleship home with other young Christian men who made an impression on Jarvis. Hanging out with them while they sung worship songs throughout the night would change Jarvis's life forever.
Their lives didn't look anything like all the other men that I was used to being around, but they were pouring their hearts out like to God. And so for me, I was just like, man, I don't know what it would look like for me to begin a relationship with God, but what those dudes have, I want that. That's when I really realized that what I was searching for and all these other people who were around me, only God could give that to me.
With a new view of the world, Jarvis began to reconsider what to do with the rest of his life.
I thought about college as like, yo, I'm from Chicago. There's a lot of violence going on in this place. It's crazy. I don't want to be here, and I want to get away from this place. Mitch would tell me stuff like, bro, I'm here because I'm a Christian. We don't know what that looks like for a Christian to live in an urban setting and to make disciples in an urban setting and to want to be there in the community. When I went away to college, and the more that I began to see that like my friends that I went to high school with be affected by gun violence. And my family be affected by drugs and gun violence. And just seeing the epidemic, that like, knowing that this is a pattern, but also that everyone who makes it, so to speak, they leave Chicago. They want to get out and they don't want to come back and invest. I think that was pretty evident that like I just didn't know what it would look like for other people, but I knew for me that I wanted to be in the city. Like, I want to stay here and I want to invest in where I'm from because nobody else is doing it.
This fall, Jarvis began to work for a mentorship organization which counsels youth in Chicago public schools, investing in the lives of others, just like Mitch had done for him. Today, Jarvis sees the conference, which equipped his initial discipler, as a resource to be equipped for his own ministry.
The more that people come to the Legacy Conference and learn so many different tools and meet with so many different people from places where they're from or different places, that it sparks not even just a conversation, but a movement, so to speak, of people who want to change the narrative about where they're from.